Whose pants are you wearing today?
Mine. You don't like them?
No, I'm just curious. They look like you've taken all your tight pants and made one pair of pants out of them.
I thought I looked really good today.
They're like blanket pants. No, your shirt's the blanket. You look very comfortable.
I feel very comfortable, but I don't think that's a compliment.
Why?
Hi, everyone.
Hi. This is just
Welcome
me.
back to another
This
episode.
is not there's no audience here.
But there's,
We haven't graduated
you know,
to
we're
that level.
recording these.
Yes.
So we're putting them out to our audience.
But then why you look at me when you talk to somebody else? That's so weird.
Who should I look at?
Look somewhere else, not in my face when you're talking to someone else. That's so weird.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, that's better.
I'm Sheena, and this is another episode of Sheena Interrupted.
Hello, I am Trid. I will be here too today
You
because I'm the only other person in the room.
So why can't I look at you?
You can.
So I had an idea.
You did?
Well, it was kind of your idea, but I ran with it.
Okay, what is it?
So last week we told everybody our love story. What did you guys think of our love story? Wasn't it sweet?
How you met Tridarius Ebenezer Snickerdoodle? Hello.
We told our story.
I'm Tridarius.
I'm just ignoring you.
Ebenezer Snickerdoodle.
We told our story.
And today we'll be discussing the taking of a young child to prom.
No.
In a very decent way. No.
No.
What happened at the end of that episode?
How do I rope you in? Like, how do I get back
The way you
to...
do on Valentine's Day. Okay, stop it. It's hot in here. Tell them what day it is.
It is
Are
Valentine's
we lying about
week.
what day it is?
No.
Okay.
It's February 12th.
Okay, we're telling them.
It is February 12th. We just...
Celebrated pre-Valentine's Day.
No, we didn't.
Well, that was just a normal Sunday?
I went to sleep
Oh my
at
God.
9 o'clock
No,
yesterday.
the other day.
So we are launching our
So
love
where
story.
are we in the release? Like, I know where you will live in the forward time.
Okay,
so where are
so
we? What
here
just
we
came
are.
out?
What just came
when
out?
people hear this, what did they last hear from us last Tuesday?
They last heard our love story. Like
Which came out on the
tomorrow,
13th.
Which
Which came
comes
out tomorrow.
You can't speak
You
in
said
back
that.
and forward.
You are from the Back to the Future.
No, it's not
I want
back.
a DeLorean to do this podcast. Otherwise, I refuse.
Okay, so today is February 12th.
So tomorrow our podcast came out.
Tomorrow our love story comes out.
It comes out tomorrow.
Yes.
But it already came out last week. I
Yeah,
saw it.
Because by the time they listen to this, it will be a week from now.
My mind is blasted right now.
So where we left our friends was the origins of our love story.
Yeah, it's how we met when you were tender age of not born. 3, 5, small.
Small. So we went through our love story origins, and
Yes.
we basically left everyone with, we had just moved to Boston and we were starting our lives together.
With our sofa from Jordan.
With our sofa from Jordan's.
Yes.
And that's all. We had
Yes.
nothing else in our house.
Yes.
Okay. And, you know, what we reflected on afterwards was the fact that that was the origin of our love story, but maybe not necessarily our love story. Yes, I think we were in love.
You think so? We're married already.
I think we were.
Wow. I thought I knew you. You're like, oh, I like this dude. Let me just move to Boston. He seems to have a nice light blue sofa. It's worth it. Hopefully I love him.
No, we
You have very poor judgment back then. I'm continuing to speak in the forward backward. You have very poor judgment back then.
we loved each other.
We did.
Having said that,
10 seconds ago, you said you thought you did.
Okay, having said that, I think it's safe to
Tridarius
say
no
that
happy.
in this moment, in this very moment, I love you more than I did back then.
That's
And that,
every day is like that.
not every day is like that,
Not for you, for me.
but most days, I love you more now than I did back then. And I
On
think
the
that
sofa day, I gave you such a nice sofa. And you were
I'm
still
the one who
questioning
gave
it.
you that sofa.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Actually, somebody at my work gave us that sofa. We're being correct. We didn't have enough money to buy the sofa, so we needed to get someone to
Go sign.
sign our cosign for our sofa, and then I paid like $50 a month for
It's
that
true.
sofa.
It's true. But I think all this to say, we really learned to love each other through this journey. And I think our love story is really, like, poetically in some way, our love story kind of continued on. It continues even till now. What is your goal?
To never love you,
Less
like
than
to
you
love
did
you.
yesterday.
I hated you back then in comparison to now,
Oh,
because you keep growing from there.
yeah.
So back then, I don't even. You're just some like a random lady I picked up on the road for a sofa
Right.
compared to now.
Compared to now.
Yeah.
But you did love me a lot back
Yeah.
then.
I
And
think.
I loved you. You think.
You think so? I think now. I'm retracting my statement because I was going to be more affirmative, but you said, oh, maybe I did. So I'm like, yeah, cool. This is cool. This girl wants to live here. That's cool. Let's just get married. Eat pizza on the floor, get a sofa. That's what I was thinking. That's all.
That's what I was
I had no
thinking,
plans.
too.
Yeah. What's up? So if you're single out there and you have a sofa or a discount code for a sofa, there are women who are young in Montreal who are looking for homes in Boston. She thought I had a green card. She thought it was a green card wedding. She didn't have one. So she just came here and...
This is
Are we going to talk about your first job?
People...
And you were squatting in my house on my sofa for a green card. You realized you didn't get one, so you had to go get a job dancing like a fruit on TV?
That's not part of the love story.
It is.
No, it's not.
Your love for a visa.
No, it's not.
What a dirty turn this has taken.
This is not.
What is that thing you did?
We're not talking about that today.
What was your vegetable? No, you were a fruit. You were a fruit.
I was a blueberry.
You were a blueberry. Yeah.
I did a children's show.
You did a children's show.
Okay, and we're not talking about
because
it. I
you
was
weren't
a blueberry.
legal. She wasn't allowed to work.
I was allowed to
Oh,
work.
yeah, that's right. You
I
were
got
allowed.
a visa for that
Yeah.
show.
Every episode you learn something illegal Sheena has done.
That's not true.
Yeah. So I loved this lady until I found out she was using me for my status. But then we liked each other because I didn't have status and she didn't run away.
Stop.
My neighbor hit on her regularly and he had status. And she was like, no, I can't with that man. He's always looking for his popcorn. That was our neighbor. Once a week, he would come out of his house. He would look around because his packages would get misplaced. He'd say, hey, see my popcorn? I thought that was code for something. Like your popcorn sticking out of your pants, you bloody. He would wear these little shorts. Put your popcorn inside. Go inside your house.
Okay, stop it.
I don't know where we are in the story.
Behave yourself.
What? Where are we? Are we still in the house? You're a blueberry trying to hide from that popcorn man?
I don't even know what we're talking about.
I never know what we're talking about.
No, you never know what you're talking about.
That's true. How would I know what you're talking about?
Because I've been trying to talk about it
Okay,
for
go.
the last 15 minutes.
Do you know what I'm about to talk about?
No.
I for sure don't know.
How can I know if you don't know?
Because you seem to know things.
I was going to tell people how we fell in love in Boston.
You said you think we fell in love. Oh, we've fallen in love at this point in the story? When did that happen?
When we moved to Boston in our tiny little empty apartment on the floor
But
with dominoes.
when? You said the day we got there we weren't. You were still considering.
Oh my God.
I think for most of you, you should fall in love before you get married.
We
not
were
like her.
in love.
So we're eating Domino's pizza in Boston,
Yep.
trying to get to know one another. And in a very romantic gesture,
Yeah.
because we couldn't buy anything,
Yeah.
I decided to import my cousin who came with a credit
Oh
card.
my God, that's true.
Yes.
His cousin stayed
The
with us
bastard
first.
only had a $500 limit. He didn't tell me before.
He came and stayed with us for like 2 months.
Yeah. He said, I have a credit card. I can help you furnish your home.
Is
We
that
said,
why
we'll
you
pay you
invited
back. I
him?
said, we'll pay you back. And they're studying to do something, I don't know, become a doctor or one of those lame professions. Lawyers, doctors, you know, those people.
Yeah. they're
So then he
terrible.
shows up and he's like, oh, by the way, I only have $500 limit.
We had nothing
We
in
had
our
to
house.
pay it
We had
back so he could
literally,
clear his
like,
card so we could buy more
We didn't have
cleaning
hand
products.
soap. We didn't have a
Foot
plunger.
soap?
We didn't have like we
Don't
didn't have
talk
a
about
sponge.
plungers. That's my low. Oh, no.
We're not telling people about
I'm
that.
I'm telling them my low of the week, what you did.
I didn't do it.
I am telling them.
It wasn't me.
Somebody,
It was not me.
you may or may not have been involved, I heard yesterday.
I was not
But
involved.
there
For
are
the
certain...
record, I'm the one who told the kids it doesn't matter. It was me. Like to let them
Oh,
off
so
the
that's
hook.
where it came from.
To let them off the hook.
Yeah, then if next time you want to let them off the hook,
Who
deal with the hook.
cares?
I cared. You know, there's these things we try to fight in our house. We try to stay away from this is the male responsibility, this is the female responsibility.
Yeah.
And we do a pretty good job, but there's certain things
Yeah.
that some of us are better at than others.
And that some
She's
of us
better
refuse to
at
do.
cooking. I've tried before. I was excited about succeeding at boiling pasta the other day to give you my level of prowess.
Yeah.
It wasn't a given because it was spaghetti and we didn't want to break it. So
Oh
we had
my
to
God,
devise
it was
some...
fine. It's pasta. It tells you how long you have to boil it.
No, but the whole stick doesn't go in the pot.
You can...
You have to just please
Okay.
bear with me. I didn't have the right tools, but we succeeded. It was a good meal.
It was fine. Also,
One
the
of
pasta
those-
sauce was already made.
Okay, you want to talk about cooking? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm just trying to talk about the shit situation you left me with. And then there are other things like, you know, taking the recycling to the recycling center and fighting with
Manly thing.
yeah, fighting with repair people. That's another story. That's her low for the week.
Yeah, that was my low.
Those things are left for me,
No.
including when people decide to show the toilet who's boss and then just leave it there. That's what my family left me with. They said, here, we have something for you. Go look upstairs. I'm like, hey, why are you guys using my bathroom? They're like, oh, go look what we left for you upstairs. Ha ha ha. Maybe it was mama. And then when you
I don't
got there, I
use
was like,
that
come on, I have
bathroom.
these little kids. This can't be that bad. And I lifted the lid and I saw a light.
Light.
It was God speaking to me.
What did he say?
I will give you strength, my son. These people depend on you. Do not leave the house. Do not call a plumber. Show some strength. But if you do faint now, it's okay. And I said, no, God, I will not faint. I will solve this problem. So I quickly dropped the lid and I said, Jay, you have to learn to do these things too. And he's like, no, I don't. And he ran away. No, I brought him with me.
You made him do this?
No, I just made him watch.
Okay.
So he
His
could learn.
own...
I don't know whose, they think, I
Potentially
don't know whose problem this was or who
Okay.
created the issue. But I went down,
Yeah.
got the plunger,
Yeah.
and I told him, look, in most cases in life,
Yeah.
you stare a problem in the face. In this, you don't. This is one of those situations where
Turn
you
and look
must,
away.
this is like the basilisk in Harry Potter. You cannot look it in the eye.
Okay.
So what do you do? He said, but how do you know what to do? I said, you turn the light on outside the bathroom. You
Yeah.
shut the bathroom light off. You operate in the dark.
Oh.
This is like Delta Seal,
What
stealth
if it
mode.
starts coming out
Oh,
on
but
you?
this is going to come out no matter what. Disgusting.
Okay,
That was my low.
fine. I'm really sorry for you.
Ugh.
I'm moving on.
What's the scene in that movie where they like vomit with
I
each
don't
other?
know, but that was not me, and we need to move on from
I
this
think
topic.
you should be very,
Yeah.
very happy
Yeah.
that you were not home when this all
I am
transpired.
so grateful. Thank you. That was my
You're
high
welcome.
for the week.
You're welcome. Okay, where were we?
We're talking about
Some
our...
things you do for love, my
Yeah,
friends.
some things you do for love.
Sometimes you have to break a turd down and do bomp, 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 bomp inside until the thing goes and then it releases because they use too much toilet paper.
Yuck.
It was
Kids,
disgusting.
stop using so much toilet
Don't
paper.
use so much toilet paper unless you want to pick up your own dookies out of your own kamot. Rascals.
Can we move on,
Yeah,
please?
this is what they were expecting.
Oh, God.
You thought
this
love
is...
was all just rose petals? Bloody no, it's plungers.
This is a really nice segue into what I wanted to talk
Go
about
ahead.
because this was one of the things that I broke down our episode
I broke
into.
down something too.
identifying
Go ahead.
identifying like gender roles. Like traditionally,
Yeah.
women would cook, right?
Yes.
Men would take out the garbage.
Why are you
and-
saying it like that?
That was the tradition.
They would have to say it like that when you took out the garbage? I've never done that. Should I be screaming at someone when I take out the garbage?
I didn't scream at anybody.
Why you did like this? It's like caveman-y?
Yeah. I think that when we got married, we had pretty traditional roles in our
Like
house.
I go to work,
You went to work.
you stay at home
I
and try
stayed
to
home.
break the visa laws by dressing like a fruit and
No,
doing
I
shows.
didn't work. You remember I didn't work right in the beginning. I couldn't.
That wasn't because of gender roles. That's because you didn't have a visa.
Because I didn't have a visa. But what did
Yeah.
I do instead? I like cooked and I cleaned.
What did
and
you
I
wanna
did
do?
laundry. I wanted to go to work.
But it's illegal.
I know.
I wanted to rob banks,
That's illegal.
but it's not allowed.
No.
So
But
I
I'm
went to
just
work.
saying that our lives naturally and logically just fell into that.
Yes.
Right? You got up and you went to work every day, and I got up and I putz around the house a little bit.
You did some stuff.
I like puttered and I wrote music.
Yeah, that's what you do. You're a musician.
Actually, I don't even think I wrote music in the beginning because we didn't have a piano. I think that over the last few years,
Mm-hmm.
our roles in our home have changed a lot. When I didn't have a choice and I couldn't go to work, I was taking care of the cooking, the cleaning, the laundry, all those things. And then when the kids came along,
I was going to work.
you were going to
I was
work and I was
gathering
home.
Animals.
I was home with the kids.
I bring home bagels
Bagels,
to eat.
not bacon,
No bacon.
because
I'm
we're
veg.
vegetarian.
Yes. I joke about it, and I know it's a big deal for a lot of people when they're actually struggling with this. I think we have the privilege of not really, maybe, I think it was a little bit harder for you. I think because of you and like your own struggles, because you didn't have a visa and you couldn't do certain things you wanted to do. I never thought about it from the standpoint of, hey, I'm going to work.
So you have
I thought
to do
about
this.
it as like, I have to go to work because we have mortgage to pay. But I never thought about it as, I'm working so we pay the mortgage. So we had one bank account. We had one apartment. We had one set of expenses. And we just sort of picked up what we could pick up.
So we have only one account.
No.
Yes.
You are lying. We have one account. You have one account.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Wait. When we started when we when we got married, we had no accounts here.
Correct.
In the States.
Correct.
So we moved here.
Yes.
And I think that was like to our benefit.
You know our philosophy. One couple, one job, one account. You know our philosophy. One couple, two jobs, one account for me, two accounts for her.
You're going to
Thank you, accountant man, for explaining to my wife that she should have her own separate finances from me. And who also was shocked. He was shocked by the fact that I told him, you know, when we bought our house, given that I was the one who was generating the revenue, I thought it made sense to give the house. Sheena owns the house. I own the mortgage on the house. And he looked at me and he's like, yeah, you are a crazy man. He said, you are a crazy man. Yeah, you keep that mortgage, sir. She can keep the house and her salary from this new job. And I said, okay, my friend.
But the cool thing for us, I think, that was really, really lucky. Like, we didn't have to deal with prenups. We didn't have to deal with, you know, each of us owning assets and each of us having...
Most people don't have to deal with prenups. But they do have to deal with, like, what happens when they start. Because they're, you know, imagine two people, they're both living in their own apartment. They have their own jobs.
They have their own jobs. They have their own accounts.
What?
Exactly. They have to have all those conversations. We never did.
No.
There was one
either I paid or she stole it. Those are the two options.
I did not.
She'd just go thieving people from the mall. It's like, oh, hey, what did you go? You go shopping today? Yes, I went to Nordstrom's, picked up a few items.
That's not true.
And then they picked me up. That's why they're calling you from the station.
That's actually not true. That's a point that I wanted to make. It was
that you never stole?
No, I never stole.
That's the point? No. The fact that you had to clarify that is troubling.
No, it was hard for me
to steal.
No, it was really hard for me to spend in the beginning because I really felt like I wasn't earning that.
Yeah.
So that was the hard part. The hard part when you don't have your own, you know, income stream and you don't have your own bank account. I emptied my bank account to buy you your wedding suit. Do you remember? I had an account in Montreal and I emptied it to buy you the suit that you got married in.
We just threw it away recently.
I know, it was so huge.
So garbage. Why did you buy me such a bad suit?
Well, it's not.
Well, look, you get what you pay for.
I spent a lot of money on that.
Yeah, sure you did.
Back then. You never made me feel like I couldn't spend the money. Like I couldn't take whatever I wanted from that account. But somehow I had that insecurity. I felt like I wasn't earning it. I had no place to use it. And even as our kids came, like many years later, I would go out and I would buy pajamas for our kids, or I would buy diapers, or I would buy all the necessities, or even if it wasn't a necessity, I would buy them new clothes. But I still hesitated to buy myself stuff. And I do think that there's something to be said about both of you earning and feeling like you're working towards something together. And again, it's not something that you ever made me feel. It's something that I felt.
Yep.
And I wish somebody would have pointed that out to me many years ago.
I did.
No, you're different.
Go buy whatever you want.
Yeah,
How much more clear can one be?
But I don't think that you understood where that insecurity necessarily
I don't think it would
from.
matter if anyone told you, to be honest.
Possibly.
I think you just needed to get to the point where you got your first, $200 check and then you went nuts. This
spent
podcast
$2,000.
remains unsponsored by anyone. Yet, the habits have been unlocked. Look at these fancy pants. You think that comes for the cheap?
Oh my God.
It's like 7 pairs of jeans in one. Fabric costs money, people.
So anyway, all this to say that...
That's another area that stresses people out.
Yes.
And once you get over it, you just get over it.
100%.
Of course, there's tons of fights and arguments about why can't you do this or why can't I do that? And that, I think, till today remains one of the key issues that people ultimately struggle with in relationships, where you feel like you're carrying more of the collective load. Mm-hmm. And I I struggle with that as much because I was the one that had the things, the quote unquote normal things that you would do.
Yeah.
But it seems quite telling how much of an impact that has made over these last few years, where you have your own business and your own work and everything else. I don't think you worry so much or challenge so much why I am doing something or not doing something.
Right.
Which is weird because we got busier collectively and now somehow there's more of an appreciation for the fact that we're all just doing what we can.
Right. I think it's especially hard for women because women are often expected to do certain things. And so when you're in a position where you end up doing those things, even though it was not expected of me, I don't think you actually expected me to cook and clean and do all those things. That was just what I did to fill my day.
I mean, it made sense in the context where someone has more time than the other person.
Exactly. And
so
that's
maybe
why
I'd be lying if I say it wasn't an expectation. I guess it is an expectation. I did think that's
what I would take care of. And
but if you said I don't want to,
correct.
That's fine.
And I started this by saying that was what was logical for us in that moment.
Yes.
This was the logical choice in our dynamic at that moment in our lives.
Right.
And it's hard when your logical role, when you've gotten your degree in school and you've been told your whole life that, you know, you can do, you can be. And I was a musician and I wanted to write music and I wanted to start making a name for myself at that moment. And I couldn't because I couldn't actually work. We'd come from Canada and I didn't have a visa. And so this was what I was left with. And I felt very resentful at times. And I think that this is something that a lot of women struggle with.
This is a love story episode. Wow, this is so deep and dark and not love story.
It's not a question of deep and dark and this and that. This is part of how we found ourselves.
Where in that did you start loving me?
I think I started finding love in doing these things for you.
My laundry.
Yes.
I challenge this one. Objection.
I think that when you have to do something for someone.
Oh, you say I wouldn't do this unless I really cared for them.
Absolutely, 100%. I don't want to learn to cook just for any Tom, Dick, or Harry on the street. Like
they have a sofa.
I wanted to learn these things because I wanted to build a home for us. Like I don't want to clean our kids' dirty laundry, but I do it because I love them.
I don't want to clean a lot of their dirty things.
But you do it because you love them.
Yep.
And I do think that a lot of people's love is based on these things. And you don't realize, like you talk about a love story, it's based on small moments. And I think you're really, really good at seeing the big picture and seeing that this is a collective. We are one collective unit. And it's just, these are the items that need to get done. And these are the things that I can do. And the other items my partner is going to do. And I think that you're really, really, really good at not being resentful for that. And I'm sad to say that sometimes I do find that I'm resentful. And it takes constant effort and reminder to say, oh, he doesn't have the time for this. Or if I asked him to do this, he would do it.
I'm not good at communication.
Yep.
Did you hear the one about the chicken that walked into a shoe shop?
No. Are you not reading the room?
What'd you say?
What?
The Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
Oh my God.
It was cool.
That was like my little thing about the gender roles, how we started. And I do think that fast forward all these years, we've come a really, really long way.
Have we?
Yeah, I think so. And I do think we can still continue to grow.
Yeah, everyone can.
Yes, but now I'm not afraid to say, I can't make dinner tonight. Can you take care of dinner?
Yeah, and I'm like, sure. Where do you want to order from? That's one thing that I think people need to get more comfortable with. You cannot tell someone how to resolve an issue that you don't want to resolve.
Yeah.
People make that mistake a lot. They don't want to do something, but they want you to do it in the way they would do it.
Okay, but what if said person who asked another said person to take care of dinner and their goal was to eat healthy?
Yeah, so you order from a healthy place
so is that
if you don't
okay
want to make it.
Can I request that you take care of dinner but make it healthy?
Yeah, or give me an option. There's two things that happen that I think cause a lot of conflict unnecessarily. Mm-hmm. One is when you want somebody to do something and you do it yourself. So that's where the resentment comes.
Yeah.
You don't even communicate it. You just want them to do it. They don't do it. You do it yourself. You do it angry and no one understands what the hell's happening.
Yeah.
Or you say, okay, can you do this? But
do it like
you want
this.
it done in a particular way, and you want it done on a particular timeline. Like, you have to be willing to let that go. If you don't want to do it, just say, hey, can you take care of this? And then close it from your mind. Get away from it. You'll be a lot more happy because someone else will say, okay, I'm taking this on. It becomes my responsibility to do it.
Yep.
And I'll do it when it fits into my world.
Yeah.
So I know what it is that I have going on. I'm taking this on for you.
Yeah.
I think conflict surfaces when people say, okay, can you take care of X?
Yeah.
And then you don't do it right away.
Yeah.
Can you unload the dishwasher? Yes. Can you do it now? It's like, why does that extra now have to come in? Like, just let the person do it when they do it. Just say, okay, you said you would do it. Now, if it's been 2 days and the dishwasher is still loaded, that becomes more of a problem.
Then you have to send an email.
Send an email, of course. Just send it to management. Hey, this thing is, your employee is still not doing this. But if you say to someone, can you do it? And they say, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You say, fine. 2 hours, 3 hours go by.
Yeah.
Fill the sink with dishes.
Yeah.
Don't go and do it. Just, you ask for it to be done, fill the sink with dishes, and then let that person deal with it at their own time.
Right.
That for me is like such an easy way to avoid
Conflict.
tension. I think we do better with these things because we've been together for a long time.
Yeah.
We're older.
Yeah.
We have more patience, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
We have worked on that over a while. And I think ultimately what you realize is when you are both on the same page, you can bring joy to your partner and that partner will reciprocate because they're actually getting joy. Their happiness is being triggered by making the other person happy.
Right.
When you're fighting, you divide. You're two solos.
Yep.
And then you don't have joy.
Yeah.
You're just creating more tension.
Yeah.
And you end up in a situation where you're independently deriving moments of wicked joy by
seeing the other
hurting the
person
other person,
struggle
watching them
yeah.
struggle. And people who care for each other do this all the time.
Yeah.
Those who avoid that are actually happier.
Yeah.
And we all do both.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you could minimize that and actually look to say, it takes the smallest things to make your person
find
happy.
Joy. Yeah.
If you bring them joy, they will bring you joy. It's just, it's an unvicious circle. It's a loving circle.
But can I just jump in here and say that everybody's way of finding joy is different. And for your partner, you have to figure out what it is that makes them happy.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the things that it takes time. It takes time for people to realize what it is that brings you joy is not necessarily the same thing that brings me joy.
And communication is key.
100%.
And you change over time.
If you handed me a cup of coffee in the morning, that little act can change my day. But if I gave it to you, you'd be like, what is this? What am I supposed to do with this? Thank you. But okay.
I think I'd just say thank you.
No, but
I don't do all of that. I think that's actually toxic, the example you gave by just chance. When someone is trying to do something kind for you and you react in a way like, what am I supposed to do with this? Not only are you not appreciative, but you're sending the other person a signal that you are actually, what you did is of no value. It's like a negative impact.
Yeah.
I think if you made me a coffee in the morning, I wouldn't appreciate it the same way you appreciate a coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't undervalue the act. I know you didn't mean that, but your example, I've seen people do that.
Yeah.
We know couples like that,
Yeah.
where they degrade an attempted love action by their partner. And I think that's horrible. So I would say, oh, thanks. That's it. I may not value it the way you value it, but I try my best anyways to never minimize when I think someone's trying to do something kind.
Right. And I think that that's really for so many of
You don't do that either.
No, I don't. I mean, I try not to, but I think that's such an important part of finding love together is to recognize the person's intention in the act that they're, I don't want to say committing, but the act that they're moving through. Even in a fight, I think that you and I have come a long way with something like this. Intention is always at the bottom of our communication. Like, what was my intention? Was my intention, do you think, to not unload the dishwasher, to hurt your feelings, to make you feel like you had to do it again all over? I mean, to do it by yourself? No, it was not. It was, I just got busy and I was going to do it later. Or if you say something and that person feels hurt by it, Was it your intention to actually hurt that person's feelings? No. And so often I'll tell you, well, I didn't like when you said this, and you'll say, well, that was not my intention. I've learned to take that at face value.
Yeah.
If that was not your intention, then it should be weighed differently, right?
There's
it should hold less value in how it hurt you.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits that come from being in a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
But there's also pitfalls.
Huh?
And that's one of them.
Yeah.
You can have a whole argument with me in your head. I don't even
and-
have to be
and
there.
vice versa.
Yeah, I don't have to be there. It's like, oh, but then you
Then
would
he'll
have said
say
this,
this,
and you
then
would have done
she'll
that,
say
and you're
this, and
upset.
then-
It's like one step away from being angry at someone for something they did in your dream.
Yeah.
You know, you just say one word and then this whole thing triggers and you
Right.
say, what the hell just happened?
You know what's interesting though? Sometimes I feel like I know how you're going to react to something. And go ahead.
You're talking. That's why I'm drinking now. You don't stop talking. This is how the podcast works. I drink when you talk. You drink when I talk.
Okay. What's interesting to me is that, oh my God. You're so irritated.
Because you had to stop, so I had to give them a show now. They all knew I was drinking. I was trying to secretly drink on the side.
Just
You put me on full blast.
Oh my God.
People wanted to hear the sip. Now I've performed the sip.
No one
Please
needs
continue.
to hear that. Now I don't know what I was saying again. Sometimes I know how it's gonna go, and if I tell you that this is how it's gonna go, you say no. That's
Yeah,
not
you have
how
to
it's gonna
deviate
go."
immediately. How can you agree? Because it's normally a bad thing. You say, no, of course not. I was going to immediately apologize and go wash the car.
I
like
know
I've
you've
never
done
done in
that
my life.
before.
Of course. Who is going to deny that? There's no argument going on right now. Of course I knew what was going to happen.
So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
You're
Like
not.
if you
should
want,
always give people the
the benefit
opportunity
of the
to
doubt.
speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it's not for your significant other.
right?
It's for yourself.
Yeah,
It's just easier that way.
100%.
You just like stay away from the moment. It's so much easier. I couldn't name you 5 fights we've had in our lives. Like I could not name 5.
Really?
Yeah, I can't. I have
don't
no
know if
idea.
I
I
can.
couldn't say this. We fought about this for this reason, this.
Yeah.
I don't have that
Right.
ability to remember.
Yeah,
I can remember 100 things that I enjoyed,
yeah.
but I can't remember 5 fights.
But that's so good. That's so healthy.
So why focus on it? Like what is the point
Well, I
of
think that
living
the point
in it?
of the point of focusing on things like that is to learn from them and to grow from them. And I think that that's where you understand the person better. That's where you learn to navigate the next time it happens. You learn to deviate
Yeah.
from that kind of thinking. I don't think that fights are completely unnecessary.
I agree with you. You learn from it, but I
Yeah.
don't delve on why it happened.
You don't harp on it.
Yeah,
and you
I
don't
try to
like
move on
Absolutely.
and figure out, okay, how do you avoid this in the future?
Right.
Most of the time, fights happen because you're both not in a good spot.
Yeah.
It's not a trigger.
Yeah.
It's not that you're actually fighting about something. It's
Right.
like you're both having a shitty day for some other reason.
Right. And you're just taking
And then
it
you
out
take
on
it out
each
on
other.
each other.
Mhm.
And then you wait for that to pass. You realize ultimately that you selfishly, again, not in your relationship, this isn't some high standard I'm trying to set. Being the most selfish I can be,
Yeah.
my life is better when you're happy
Yeah.
because the entire house is happier.
Right.
There's more laughter, there's more joy, everyone is happier. So be the most selfish you can be. Make your significant other happy. And people sitting there sometimes wonder, like, your relationships, whether they're new or they're old, they find certain patterns.
Yeah.
And then you find it challenging to like break that pattern, whether it be physical touch or, you know, saying, let's go out for something or let's do this or whatever it is. Why accept that for yourself? Even completely selfishly. If you want to try something and your partner you think they're not interested, take the step. Like go say, hey, I want to go bowling. I don't know what it is. Just say, I made us reservations to go bowling.
Take the initiative.
Like take the initiative. Try 2-3 times. Don't say, oh, this person never takes me out and then just settle.
Right.
I don't want to talk about if relationships are not working. You and I have talked about this too.
Yeah.
I don't think you should stick around if it's not working. Like I think there's a certain balance there that you have to find.
Yeah.
But if you think it's worth fighting for,
Yeah.
you have to
I
fight
do think
for
that
it.
there are some things obviously that are not worth fighting for, and we can all imagine the kinds of situations that you really should not keep yourself in. But I think that if you've decided that a person is worth fighting for and is worth staying in a relationship with, it's going to require compromise, and it's going to require changing of your thinking, and it's going to require like finding alternative. And I think that we are in a less traditional thinking as couples. Like, I know when we were younger and when we were dating, quote unquote, we didn't go out on dates because we were the guy still had a curfew or this or that. And I would say when we get married, he'll take me out on dates. He'll take me out here. He'll take me out there. And I sort of expected that when we would get married, you would all of a sudden become this super romantic person. And I remember feeling a little disappointed that, oh, he doesn't plan weekly date nights, or he doesn't plan this. But at one point you asked me, why don't you plan it? And it's true. Why don't I plan it? Or why don't you take responsibility for this if this is what you want to do? So I do think that especially now more than ever, there's so much of this like independent thinking. Why can't you go out and make a reservation for a pottery class for the two of you to do together?
The only danger there that I would flag, and it's not a red flag, it's like a yellow flag, something to be aware of, is with independence comes a certain amount of ego. Mm-hmm. And it's very easy to say, I don't need him. I don't need this. Mm-hmm. I don't need you. Mm-hmm. Nobody says you don't need me. Mm-hmm. You don't need me. No, I don't need you. I prefer having you. I love having you. Yeah. My life would be drastically different and not as enjoyable. Mm-hmm. But nobody needs somebody else. So to make that your primary thing when you're faced with a conflict is dangerous. To say, oh, I don't need this person. Nobody said you need them. Mm-hmm. They don't need you either. But that doesn't help you find what you think you want if you take that view. Yeah. So you don't need anyone. Yes, correct. Mm-hmm. Do you want to be with that person? Yes. Is it worth the effort? Yes. So check your ego for 5 minutes and try to make it work. Speaking of the romantic side of things, yes. You've told everyone I'm not romantic. I
didn't say that.
You did.
I did not. I said I was expecting certain romantic gestures. I don't think you're not romantic. I actually think you're pretty romantic, but in your own way. In your own way.
I admit. My love language is humor.
Yes, it is. And
if I make you laugh, I'm romantic.
Debatable. That's not romance for me. But I do think that...
You're sopping in the glory of the jokes and just spitting them out without any romantic
Is that me
credit.
being romantic too? Accepting it?
I don't know.
I think that you have moments of romance, and I think that I don't necessarily, neither of us really needs these big romantic gestures on a particular day or moment.
Like Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I don't need it. I don't think you need it.
No.
Do you need a gift on Valentine's Day?
No, do you?
No.
Do we do that?
No.
When was the last time we did that?
I don't know.
I've come to a conclusion or an understanding.
Which is?
This episode was nothing to do with our love story.
It
was relationship advice and love. So you missed. Again,
I did.
We've gone and we've done.
But this is part of our love.
I just had a mind-blasting moment.
Yeah, you look
I'm
like
having an epiphany right now.
Okay, what is it?
Are you ready for
this?
I'm ready. I may have to write a book about this topic right now, and you're hearing it live.
Oh my God, why are you so dramatic
I'm not going to write
today?
a book about it, but think about this. Okay. When you're with the right person, love is not something you need to develop. You have love. Mm-hmm. It's there all the time. Yeah. That's the baseline.
Yeah.
Your job is to not build love. Your job is to remove the obstacles
and not deduct the points, like the gymnastics thing.
Do you want to let me finish?
Was that what you were going to say?
No. Oh. So your job is to remove the obstacles. Yeah. Remove your partner's stress.
Yeah.
Remove the financial arguments.
Yeah.
Remove the things that are blocking the light. Mm-hmm. And then you will have what you have. If it's the wrong person, it's not there. Yeah. Right? So you'll be fighting and then you'll get to the end and there's nothing at the end of the tunnel. It's a dead end.
Yeah.
They were not there at the same time with you. They weren't willing to do it with you.
Yeah.
But you start with a perfect score.
Yeah.
And you will lose.
You get deductions.
You'll get deductions for stress. You'll get deductions for fighting.
Yes.
And it's up to you to decide how much you want to put on the other person, how much you want to put on yourself.
Yeah.
And ultimately how much you want to work together to get there.
Yeah. Can I co-write the book with you? That was a genius idea.
Yeah, but you interrupted me in the middle of it.
Oh, I'm so sorry for that.
That seems insincere.
It is.
Okay, well, just saying.
You know what this podcast is called, right?
Yes.
Sheena interrupted.
What are you saying?
I think that movies, like when you watch these like romantic movies and romantic love stories, I think they actually make us feel like love is supposed to be a certain way. And I think it's really deceiving.
I think there are moments of truth to it.
Of course, every love story has a beautiful moment or
Yeah.
many beautiful moments that can relate to something.
Yeah.
But I do think that like the whole picture does not look like that movie.
Because the movie's 2 hours.
Right. Your
You
love.
have 2 hours of that. If you believe what movies tell you,
Yeah.
that's a bigger issue. I can't help you with that. I can't help you with that.
But they just,
There's a
like-
movie about, it's called Sharknado. There are sharks flying around the place biting people because a tornado took them out of the ocean.
I just think it like misaligns people's expectations of what
Does
real
it?
life. Yes.
That's a problem if that's your expectation. You're like, oh, the man in the movie recovered from a heart attack, and then he found this girl skating at the pond, and
What movie is that?
I don't know, Sharknado 2. Then they both got eaten by a shark on their date on a rooftop because it was bad weather that day.
This is our love
True-
story.
This is
people.
not our love story at all. We haven't talked
We
about our
lied
love
to the
story at all.
people.
This
This
is
is-
just a
you're
random
watching it.
relationship
This
2.1. This may work for you or not.
Maybe this is what's unfolding. Like we're doing this in real time.
What,
Our love
folding?
story is like continues.
That's everyone's.
Yeah. It
Your
just-
relationship.
Yes.
That's it. It's there.
Yeah.
You have it.
Yeah.
Clear the debris.
You're welcome.
It's there.
You're witness to it.
Back to the romance side.
Oh God.
I was in Paris last week,
Okay.
and given that we don't buy each other gifts,
Uh-huh.
I bought one for myself.
Good.
I'm kidding.
Oh. You
I
shouldn't
did.
be.
I did buy you one
You did?
because it's Valentine's Day this week.
But you don't need to buy me a gift for
I
Valentine's.
never do. So I thought it would be ironic to actually get you a gift for Valentine's
But
Day.
you bought me something the last time you were in Paris.
Why did I do that? What was the reason for that?
For my birthday.
That was for your birthday.
Yeah.
You had a big birthday.
Yeah.
So I got you a big gift.
Yeah.
This is not a big Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So I got you a not so big gift.
Okay. Thank you.
Or maybe I did.
I appreciate
Who knows?
that.
So I'm going to shut this thing off.
Are
not
you
the
gonna give me
podcast.
the gift?
I'm going to go get it.
You're going to give me the
I'm
gift
gonna
on
give
our
it to you right
podcast?
now. Yeah,
Oh, but it's not Valentine's Day.
it will be.
Hello. This is interesting. This is like a crazy turn of events. Always keep him on your toes. He actually left. He's gone. Oh my God. What is this?
Here.
And I have to open this?
Nope.
Wait, what?
This is a transition to our next episode.
Oh God.
It's going to be the
No!
topic. It's going to be on the topic of patience.
No.
So you cannot open this
Come on.
until the way you're behaving. I think it should be the 15th. Yeah. So until February 15th, or even better, you should open it the next time we record after Valentine's Day,
No.
so we can capture your reaction.
Wait, you bought me a gift from Dior
Yeah.
and you're telling
It's
me
in a big box.
it's in a big box and it's
Yeah.
for Valentine's Day, but I cannot open it.
I think you should try patience.
Oh my
It's a
God.
good virtue.
This is the next
Just
episode.
put it upstairs on the
Pick-
mantle,
Oh,
and we can just wait until, and then we could talk about the last time we put something
Up on the
way
mantle.
more significant than this in any stretch on the
Aw.
mantle.
Okay, I can be patient.
I think you should be patient.
I got this. Okay, let's turn this off so I can give you a little sugar.